Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now we shall do the chant again. Yeah, please start the chant, and those who want can follow along. Jati kula gotra duragam nama rupa guna dosha varjitam desha kala vishayati vartiya brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani Yat param sakala bhavagocharam gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha shuddha chidghanamanadi vastu yad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Virurmi vira yogi yogir bhavitam na karanair vibhavitam buddhya vidyamanavadyamasti yad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Prantikalpita jagat kalashrayam swashrayam cha sadasad-vilakshanam nishkalam nirupamanavadhiyad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Vriddhi parinatya pakshaya vyadhinashana vihinam avyayam vishvasrishthyava vighata karanam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Astabhedamanapasta lakshanam nistaranga jalarashi nischalam nityamuktam vibhaktamurti yad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Ekameva sadaneka karanam karanantara nirasya karanam karya karana vilakshanam swayam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Nirvikalpakam analpamaksharam yaksharaakshara vilakshanam param nityamabhyaya sukham niranjanam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Yadvibhati sadanekadma brahma nama rupa guna vikriyatmana hemavat swayam avikriyam sada brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Chakaschana param varat param pratyagekarasamatma lakshanam satya chit sukhamanantam avyayam Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani.
Brahmatatvamasi bhavayatmani.
So these 10 verses are on non-dual meditation. Let us remember what non-dual meditation is. After doing Shravana, listening to the Vedantic teachings, we ascertain that we are not the body, not the mind, we are pure consciousness, awareness. And through a process of reasoning, questioning, answering, doubting, debating, we get clarity. We answer all the possible questions, doubts. We get clarity, conviction that we are this. Now you have to stay with that clarity. Why do you have to stay with that clarity? So that it affects the change. This becomes a real thing for us. When I talk about myself, I am this limitless awareness. That should be my first thing that I go to. Not that I am this body man and yeah, I've been told I am awareness. Well, I guess so. That will not do. How will we do this? This non-dual meditation, you stay with this, our nature as pure consciousness. Now notice, in yogic meditation, you have to stop thinking. You have to stop thinking. Chitta vritti nirodha. Silence the thinking. What's the strategy there? You're trying to reach the same reality. We're trying to access the same reality. But how? That which illumines all thoughts. It becomes clear in the absence of thoughts. When the mind is stilled. That's yogic meditation. But that's not Vedantic meditation. In Vedantic non-dual meditation, you're not supposed to stop thinking. Take the help of the mind. Use the mind to appreciate the real nature of consciousness, of what we are. How will you appreciate? Each of these 10 verses, the first 3 sentences tell you what we are and what we are not. Mostly what we are not. The emphasis should really be on what we are not. Because what we are, you cannot grasp it. It should become obvious by itself. The best way is when it becomes obvious by itself. Not when we try to understand it with the mind or appreciate it directly with the mind. You run the risk of objectifying what is not an object. And then it becomes, you always get the feeling it's a kind of speculation. It's a kind of theory. And it is. If you try to grasp it with the mind, it will become a theory. But what we are talking about is not really a theory. It is the witness of the mind. It is right here. It makes possible all that we experience. Because it's consciousness itself. Just like light makes it possible to see everything in this room. Just the same light. The same light of consciousness makes it possible to experience all that we call life. So it's most obvious. It's there. Except that if you try to grasp it with the mind, you run the risk of theorizing or thinking about it. So we will think about it, but mostly in the negative way, what is called in philosophy or in theology the via negativa, the negative way, by seeing what it is not. And what it is should become obvious. Now, what we can learn from yoga is the 3 final stages of Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. The 3 final stages are Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Focus, meditation, and Samadhi. Samadhi is the deepest absorption. These are the 3 final stages. Is there a chair somewhere? You can sit. Yeah, there's a chair there. Please come and sit. What are the first 5 stages? Eightfold yoga or 8-limbed yoga. What are the first 5 stages? And the Yama and Niyama, the disciplines, the do's and don'ts. Then asana, how to sit. You have to learn how to sit. Yes, there's a lot to learn about how to sit. We sit wrongly most of the time. Posture. Then your yoga teacher can give you whole classes on posture. Then, even more amazing, pranayama, breathing. To learn how to breathe, but I've been breathing all my life. Yes, and doing it wrong most of the time. We had a wonderful yoga teacher come in and teach and give a talk about all this. Eddie Stern. He is the Stern School of Yoga in Brooklyn, I think. Yes. So, pranayama, breath control. And then Pratyahara. Pratyahara is to withdraw from engagement with the world, turn inwards. The more you're engaged with the world, the more the mind will be turbulent. So all this is Patanjali Yoga. But we are not so much interested in these first 5, we are interested in the last 3, because last 3 deal directly with attention. So when we focus our attention on something, say a mantra, say Om Namah Shivaya. So dharana means focus on the Om Namah Shivaya and try to eliminate all other thoughts. When you try to do that, you will find other thoughts will intrude. Om Namah Shivaya, you think about Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. What's for dinner, I wonder. And then again, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. What will be the dessert? Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. This is called dharana, where it's mostly Om Namah Shivaya, mostly the mantra, mostly the object of my meditation, and intermittently interrupted by other thoughts. Not that you have to interrupt it. Don't interrupt it. Oh, the Swami said it should be intermittently interrupted. So once in a while I should think about the menu and then think about God. No, you have to stop that interruption. The interruption comes by itself by force of habit. The mind runs around. It tends to run around. There was this old joke there's something called quality control in management, in industrial production. So the Japanese were supposed to have very high standards of quality, 0 error and stuff like that. It's old stuff. I don't know what the latest is. So something called 6 Sigma, but this is all. The younger people will say, 6 Sigma, Swami, you're old. So they will specify what levels of quality you want. We want like 1% error. That means there shouldn't be more than 1% error. So somebody sent an order saying that it should be 2% error. That means it shouldn't be more than, it should not be less than 98% perfect. And it seems the Japanese sent back a consignment of 102 parts with 100 perfect parts and then said 2 specially made defective parts for you because you wanted 2 defective parts. No, dharana means focus as much as possible. Like when we are studying, when you're doing an assignment, when you are doing some high value work, you want to focus entirely. You don't want any distractions. So that is dharana, focus, concentration. When that concentration deepens, when there is no interruption, when it's only Om Namah Shivaya, only the mantra, only the deity, only what you're focusing on, without any interruption from anything else in the world, if you can hold on to that, that's meditation. Dhyana. And that's the 7th limb of 8-limbed yoga. Ashtanga yoga, 8-limbed yoga, the 7th limb. That's why meditation is so difficult. We say we find it difficult to meditate. Well, it's the 7th. It's pretty advanced. It's preceded by these other 6 steps or 6 parts or 6 limbs of yoga. Up to this meditation is within human effort. Then the samadhi is the result of holding on to this meditation for a long time. You will simply sink into samadhi or it will deepen into samadhi by itself. You can't force that. Up to meditation, one can try. After that, it should come by itself. If you try, you'll disturb it again. At that point, if you put in further effort, it'll be another distraction. Now, why am I saying this? This is what we need. We will use these 3. Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. This is what we are trying to do in non-dual meditation. We are borrowing this from Patanjali meditation. However, in Patanjali meditation, no thought at all. Stop the thinking. Chitta vritti nirodha. That's the aim. Here, we are focusing not on a mantra. We are not focusing on a deity. We are not focusing on any yantra, any sacred design or symbol. Nothing. We are focusing on reality itself. We are focusing on what we are, on ourselves. Not the body, not the mind, on awareness. This is meditation of awareness. Turning the attention towards inwards, into awareness itself. And then, how do you hold on to that? What do you do? It seems almost impossible. It's like turning your eyes inwards to try to look at your own eyes. No, you can't. What you do is appreciate these different aspects of awareness. I gave how many today? That awareness is the Sakshi, witness consciousness of all our experiences. That was one. The second, if you remember, unbroken, Nirantara, awareness is always there. It's never intermittent. It's never broken. Attention can be broken. Concentration can be broken. Awareness is always there. What was the third one? You remember? Unchanging. In Sanskrit, nirvikara, unchanging. And the fourth one? It was always the same. Awareness, consciousness is always the same, no matter what your experience is. Number 5, it is abhyaya, undecaying, untraumatized, undamaged. And it is the light of lights, consciousness, awareness, whatever, I'm using it interchangeably. It's the light of lights. And it is also directly, immediately available to us. Aparoksha. And most important, all of this stuff is Atma, itself, it's you. Awareness or consciousness is you. Until now we thought body-mind is I. Now we are being asked to make that shift. I am awareness, I am consciousness. It's not really an option. It's actually going from ignorance to knowledge. You really are awareness. We are beings of spirit, having a human experience. It's not that we have a choice, either be a human being or be awareness. No. Our default position is when we don't think about it, when we don't inquire, when we don't attend to it, we take it, whatever is presented to us, this body, mind, this is who I am. But when through Vedantic inquiry, it is revealed to us, I am awareness, you have to see, if we understand what awareness is, with the mind itself, if we understand what consciousness is, what awareness is, we have to say, I am awareness. And the body is presented to me in awareness. The mind, even the personality is presented to me in awareness. And if you can strictly distinguish yourself from the body, here's the body, but it's an object, just like this object, or just like that object, the body is also an object. And the mind is a subtle bunch of objects. It's like a subtle machinery going on. I am neither of them. I am the witness of both. I am awareness, I am aware of both. Just like I'm aware of this hall, I'm aware of the body, I'm aware of the breath, I'm aware of the feelings and the sensations, I'm aware of thoughts, I'm aware of ideas, memories, desires. I am awareness. Now you look at this. Staying is that awareness. To appreciate these 10 verses, you have to hear these from the perspective of awareness, as awareness. Stand as awareness or sit as awareness, and then listen to these verses. They will all make perfect sense. Otherwise, they seem like very high-flown philosophy, very inspiring, very nice stuff, but it seems utterly different from, alien to what we are. We'll think we are creatures, we are biological creatures, creatures of flesh and blood. What's all this pure consciousness beyond time and space? It sounds very abstract. No, it's not at all abstract. It is what you are right now. Then when you look at these first 3 lines of each verse, they'll all make sense to you. I promise. You see, notice just now. What did we read? Jati niti kula gotra duragam. Jati literally means the caste. Well, it could mean, you can expand it. It could mean gender, it could mean race, whatever. This awareness, stay as that one witness consciousness, which gives me experience of everything that happens through the senses and mind, this one light that I am, ever the same, never changing, ever shining. This light, this consciousness, is it a Brahmin or a Vaishya or a Shudra or a Kshatriya? No. Is it black? Is it white? Is it Asian? No. Is it even human? No. It must be the same in all human beings. This awareness must be the same in all sentient beings. The differences between us are just differences of body, differences of mind, differences between human beings and non-human beings. There's just differences of body and mind also. We are the witness of both. So in that awareness there is no distinction. So jati, duragam, far beyond distinctions of caste. Is it, are they cisgendered or what else? New York, I come from New York, we have 23 genders there. Which gender is this awareness? None of them. It's the same in all genders. Literally the same. This is an interesting question people ask. So is Vedanta pro LGBTQ plus transsexual or not against it? Is it woke or not woke? Vedanta is utterly different from all of these. It says whichever side you come down on, you are the consciousness which illumines. These distinctions are distinctions of mind, of ideology, of belief systems. You are equally the one consciousness in all of them. So, jati. Niti here is translated as creed. It could be, so this awareness in itself, is it Christian or is it Jewish? Is pure consciousness Muslim or Hindu? Is it even Vedantic? Is it Buddhist? Is it atheistic? Agnostic? What is it? It illumines all of them because all these, and this is called niti. This is all in the mind. Notice clearly. You could swap minds. The awareness would illumine whatever is there in the mind. There's a term IT people use, plug and play. You can pull out this mind and plug in another mind. And you will have an entirely different range of ideologies and thoughts, and all of that would also be illumined by this awareness. Now, I am not teaching here. I want us to notice, yeah, that's true. If you see it to be true, you're on track. If you feel, what's it talking about? You're probably thinking of the mind. Distinguish awareness from the mind. Just bare awareness, bare consciousness. Then all of this will make sense. And you can just look inside and see, yes, check, true. We're using the mind. In yogic meditation, we've shut it down. How do you use this verse? As the verse plays out in your mind, traditionally people would memorize these verses, and then you sit quietly. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. In your mind, you retreat into the awareness itself. The body is an object, the breath is an object, thoughts and feelings are objects, memories are objects, the intellect is an object. Beyond that, the causal body, deep sleep state, object. I am awareness. What else are you? Just awareness. Now, jati, niti, kula, gotra, duragam. Yes, clearly, it is beyond all caste or race. It is beyond all ideology. Awareness by itself is not Christian or Hindu or Buddhist or atheist. It's not Democrat or Republican. It is awareness itself. It's beyond all ideology. Kula, lineage. Does it belong to a high-born family or am I from the common folk? All of that is the body. There's nothing to do with awareness itself. Gotra. The gotra is the lineages, which usually are patrilineal. They come through the father in Hindu society. So we all trace our ancestry back to a small group of sages in ancient times. Bharadwaja, Kashyapa, Vashishta, and Atreya. These are different. They were great sages in some ancient, hoary, old past, and we are all descended from that. So, especially for rituals, when Hindus take part in rituals, you are asked, what is your gotra? So your descent, your ancestry. Does awareness have ancestry? Is it even Hindu? No. And you see, we are distinct from all of them. And you check. You don't have to force yourself to see that, oh, okay, I don't have a caste or a gender or a political affiliation. No. I'm apart from all of this. The way to check is, then who is it that has a caste and an affiliation to an ideology and a gotra and a religion and all of that, who is it then? It is again you. It is the same awareness when it puts on the cloak of a mind and a body. When it puts on the cloak of a mind and a body, it's the same actor. When it puts on the dress of a king and goes out on stage, the king is the actor. The same actor is the king. And when it changes, goes to the green room and swaps and puts on the dress of a beggar, comes back on stage, it's the same actor. In this case, who or what is the actor? It's awareness, it's consciousness. Does this make sense now? Far beyond caste and ideology or creed, family, ancestry, all of which were very important in Hindu society. And look, this is the highest Hindu philosophy which negates all of them, which is really speaking. Oh, I'm a very high-born Brahmin. Really? No. Really no. Apparently yes. That's the beauty of it. You're not denying it, but you know that there's a deeper identity that I'm the witness of all of this. Nama Rupa, then this becomes more general and philosophical. Nama Rupa Guna Dosha Vajjitam. Name and form. Divide of name and form and the associated merits and demerits. Guna Dosha. Body. Somebody is beautiful or healthy or strong. Mind. Somebody is highly talented, is creative or intelligent. And others are not so much. These are all guna dosha, merits and demerits, characteristics of name and form, body and mind. Varjitam, devoid of all the pluses and minuses. The pluses and minuses will stay in the body and mind. See, one great advice given by a monk was, how do you apply Vedanta? Jo cheez jahan ki hai Mahatma ji, usko wahin rehne do. Keep things where they belong, O monk. You see, that's what my mom told me. Well, she was very wise. He was a great Vedantin. Keep things where they belong. Where does race belong? You're not denying race. Where does race belong? In the body. Where does ideology belong? In the mind. Where does family belong? In the body. Good points. I have these advantages. I have these weaknesses. Yes, you have, but not you as consciousness. You, when you put on the cloak of your body and mind, yes, those things are there in the body and mind. They're not denying them, but they really are not yours. All the good things there and all the bad things there, they're all provided by nature to you. It's this vehicle which we are driving around in. It's this SUV. It's an Uber. You called it up, it's arrived. So, Swami, I never called up this body. You did. Your past karma called it. That's why it's been generated, for you to drive in and evolve spiritually. There are two views to this, you know. Swami Vivekacudamani, one American lady in, this is 1900, in San Francisco, Northern California, near San Francisco. She asked Swami, Swami, is it true that we are like school children? We are learning and evolving. That's why we have all these lives. And he said, whoever taught you that, madam, who told you that? No, we are clowns. We are tumbling in the. We are not school children learning, growing, evolution. That's one theory. That is actually one theory, that we are lifetime after lifetime we are evolving. Swami Vivekananda gives you an even higher view. A more radical view. No, it's not that we are learning. We are clowns tumbling around in the circus ring. And then that lady, quite astonished, she had never heard such a thing. She says, why do we tumble, Swami? And Swami Vivekananda replied, because it's fun, madam, it's such great fun. We are having fun. Only if you center yourself as this witness consciousness, only then can you even begin to say it's fun. How can it be fun to be sick? How can it be fun to be in pain? How can it be fun to lose? To lose in life and lose near and dear ones and to be separated from those you love. How can it be fun? It's all fun. But it's your fun. If somebody does it to you, then it's terrible. But but don't tell others who are suffering that, this is such great fun. No, it's from your perspective as pure consciousness. Nama rupa gunadosha vajjitam. All right. Now comes the third line. Here is something new which we haven't seen in the morning. Deshakala vishayati vattiyad. Transcending space, time and object. Deshakala vishayati vattiyad. You transcend space, time and object. What does that mean? That's very important. Notice what we did in the morning. All the objects I am experiencing, I am consciousness which illumines all the objects. Visual objects, when I illumine them through the eyes, I have the experience of seeing. Sounds illumined through the ears, I have the experience of hearing. So on and so forth. Thoughts, activities, all are revealed by me, the consciousness. But meaning thereby, there are objects other than me. There is this body which does activities. I am separate from all of it like a light illumining all of it. I am continuous without a break. We said that. Consciousness is continuous without a break. But there are lots of things which have breaks. We have breaks. We just had a break. We're going to have a break a little later. We have a dinner break and a lunch break and so many breaks. Time is flowing, but there are gaps in things. There are activities which start and stop. So there is a world which is impermanent. There's a world which is transient all around us. It's continuously changing. And they're all objects for us, and I am the subject. I am consciousness and everything else is an object. Even the body is an object for me. The breath is an object for me. What's an object? Anything that you're conscious of is an object. Even thoughts are objects for me. It's all wonderful to learn, but remember, this is also a kind of philosophy which is not non-dual, because it's very much dual. Very much dual. What is dual? I am consciousness and everything else is separate from me. I am eternal, but the world is non-eternal. So if I am eternal, I can't be the world. The world is separate from me. I am directly experienced, aparoksha. But the world is not directly experienced. To see stuff, I need eyes. To hear stuff, I need ears. To know the galaxies and stars, I need telescopes. To know about heaven, I need religion. So none of that is available to me directly. So here is something, consciousness is directly available to me, and the rest is indirect, separate from me. So it's still a very dualistic way of looking at things. I and that. Yeah, as consciousness, there's a big gain for me, because as consciousness, I am fine. Thank you very much. You have shown me something within myself which is remarkable, wonderful. A safe haven. The great fortress where I am safe and I have peace. But outside the fortress there is chaos. Here is the world. So what is this world in relation to you, the consciousness? And further, this way of thinking that I am consciousness, it gives a seed in our minds. It leaves a seed in our minds, subtle, but it leaves a trace, a kind of, it's an error, a misconception, which is bound to leave in our minds, that I am a consciousness in this body and mind. And there are so many bodies and minds. So each body and mind has a separate consciousness. I am the witness of this body and mind only. And there are many. This is not non-dualism. This is not Advaita. Now we are being introduced to Advaita in this one line. Deshakala vishayati vattiyad. This consciousness, he is telling us, it transcends time, space, object. What is this transcending time, space, object? Transcending time. Transcending time means you're eternal. Transcending space means you're all-pervasive. There's no particular place where you're located at. Transcending object means there's nothing other than you. That means you're non-dual. No second other than you, non-dual. This is the definition of infinity in Vedanta, Anantam, infinity. You know, there's a wonderful definition of Brahman in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahman is what? What is Brahman? It is limitless existence consciousness. What do you mean by limitless? Well, that depends on what you mean by limit. Limitless, what's a limit? There's a space limit, there's a time limit, there's an object limit. What's the space limit? Something occupies a particular space. Every physical entity is located in space. That means it is here and not there. I'm here, I'm not there. You are there, you're not here. We are all here, we are not in the dining hall. We'll soon be there, but we'll not be here. And this is where Phoenix is, Scottsdale. And Phoenix is there. But all of it is within Arizona. And Arizona is within the United States. But India is outside. So here and there, this location is called a limit. Something has a beginning and an end in space. I begin here, the body, and ends there. There's a beginning and an end in space. Beyond the tips of my fingers, I do not extend. Up to the tip of my nails, I am. Beyond this, I am not. This is the body. So every physical entity is located in space. But you can make it more abstract. There are mathematical entities located in mathematical space. You can conceive of it as a space. There are, I was told that, you know, these AIs, right now the AIs we have are what are called LLMs, large language models. And they told me, scientists told me that, you know, have you heard of Bernardo Kastrup? He explained it to me. He said that he studied it well, and he said it is, Swami, it is geometry. So conceive of a space of all text, all words, all symbols, numbers, everything is put in a space. And if you have this word, what comes closest to it in terms of usage? Those will be around it in that space. And others, so depending on the probability, you can give weightage and you can play with it. And the computer will just simply keep on going to the nearest probabilities, which are closest to it in that space. This is also a space. So things are located in space. That's a limit. But suppose something is not located in space. Then it is not limited in space. Then what does it mean? There is no particular space location in space where it is. It is everywhere. No space where it is limited. That means it is there throughout that space. In Sanskrit, sarvavyapi. In English, all-pervasive. So if something has no space limit, it becomes all-pervasive. If something has no time limit, then what will happen? What's the time limit? It is a beginning and an end. This class has a beginning and an end. Our life, this biological life, has a beginning and an end. Every product is produced and destroyed. Every sentient being is born and they die. This is time limit. Beginning and an end. But suppose something has no beginning and an end. No beginning. There was never a time when it did not exist. There never will be a time when it will not exist. What would you call it? Eternal. Eternal. In Sanskrit, nityam, eternal. So no time limit, eternal. And no object limit. No object limit means, what's an object limit? An object limit is, an object is just itself. It's an interesting new way of looking at it. So this is a book. What's it? It's a book. And nothing else. It's a book. And not only that, there are many copies of this book. Each copy is separate from the other. As a book, it's separate from a table, it's separate from a Swami, it's separate from the hall. It's just a book. And not only just a book, all other books which you all have, the same book, it's separate from those copies also. Because it's just a book and it's just this copy of that book only. Now, Vedanta sees this as a limit. Isn't it a kind of poverty? You are only this and you exclude everything else in the universe. In logic, this is called the law of identity. If A is A, then it's different from all not A. This is how identity works. Have you heard of real ID? So that will uniquely define you and separate you from everybody else. A passport, a driver's license, uniquely define you and separate you from everybody else. That's how it works. This is called object limitation. You are only this and not anything else. Object limitation. You are different from, everything else is different from you. That's an object limitation. But now let me ask you, suppose an object does not have object limitation, then what will happen to it? Nothing will be different from it. There will be nothing other than it. There will be no second reality apart from it. Can you wrap your mind around this concept? Object limitation means A is only A, and everything else is different from it. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, everything is different from it. What is it? It's only A. And what else? Nothing else. But if A has no object limitation, then everything in the universe will be one with it. Everything in the universe will be one with it. The spiritual goal of becoming one with everything else, the logicians will define it as, you want to remove your object limitation. You say, what? That's a very dry way of putting it. I feel one with everything. So you have gotten rid of your object limitation. Have you heard of the old joke about make me one with everything? So this spiritual person, a monk, goes to it's a New York joke. There's a pizza shop in New York, and all these toppings are there. What do you want? He says, well, make me one with everything. Because he's a monk, he wants to be one with everything. Make me one with everything. And he gives him money. And the pizza shop guy makes him one with all the toppings, and he says, here it is. And after some time, the monk asks, where's my change? And the shop owner says, change comes from within. So basically, if you have no object limitation, then you are one with everything. No, there's no object apart from you. No object apart from you. No second reality apart from you. No second in philosophy is called non-dual. No two. Although the whole world appears, it is not apart from you. Although thousands of things may appear in the movie, none of it is apart from the movie screen. With respect to the movies, the movie screen is non-dual. Nothing in the movie is a second reality apart from the movie screen. Right? So similarly, non-dual, no object limitation means non-dual. Now let's put it together. No space limitation, all pervasive. No time limitation, eternal. No object limitation, non-dual. I'll put all of them together, the one word for all of this will be limitless. Anantam. This is what he is saying. Deshakala vishayati vartiyat. That which is devoid of space limitation, time limitation, object limitation. That which is eternal, all-pervasive, non-dual. That consciousness you are. How do you understand this? It sounds wonderful. What it will make you is, it will make you eternal, it will make you all-pervasive, it will make you non-dual. You will be Advaitam. This consciousness becomes non-dual. Nothing will be apart from you in this universe. It will no longer be, I am the unchanging and everything else here is the changing. No, all that is changing is an appearance in you. I am in this body and mind. No, all other bodies and minds are also appearances in you. That which is an appearance in you does not constitute a second reality apart from you. Let me repeat this. That which appears in you is not a second reality apart from you. Just like what appears on a movie screen is not a second reality apart from a movie screen. When Luke Skywalker appears on the movie screen, it's a Star Wars reference. Our Jeffrey Long, who's given a number of talks in our Vedanta Society, he had a course in his philosophy class, Star Wars and Vedanta, or Indian philosophy. And he says, and he gave a talk in the Vedanta Society, and he said, well, in my class to the youngsters, Star Wars and Vedanta, I have to explain what is Vedanta, because they all know Star Wars. And here in the Vedanta Society, I have to explain what is Star Wars. He has given a talk in our Vedanta Society, and I suggested the title of the talk, the Yoga of Yoda. If you know who Yoda is. So there's a cultural connection between Star Wars and Vedanta actually, which goes through Joseph Campbell and George Lucas through that. And Swami Nikhilananda, Joseph Campbell and George Lucas. So this is this limitlessness. You are this limitless consciousness. Space appears in you, time appears in you, objects appear in you. How do you appreciate, how do you realize this? Because this is what is being taught to us, but it's also the claim is that you can come to see it as a fact. Notice in this way, the way to notice it is, I'll give two examples. Mirror example, dream example. Mirror example. The gentleman chanted Dakshinamurti Stotram here. The mirror example. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. The universe is like a city seen in a mirror. What's the mirror? Consciousness. What's the mirror? It's you. Which you? Not this body. You as consciousness. Which consciousness? What we talked about this morning. Be centered in that consciousness. Now notice the entire universe. Yes, it's all changing. You are unchanging. It's all broken and interrupted. You are unbroken. It's all different. You are samaha, non-different. It's all subject to decay and destruction and trauma. You are not subject to decay and destruction and trauma. All of that is sure. But notice this entire universe of change and decay and destruction, trauma, all of that, everything that's happening, it all appears in you as consciousness. If you sit as consciousness, it appears in you. It's like the city seen in the mirror. If you hold up a mirror and you can see the city. If you drive towards Phoenix and you will see in your driving mirror, you'll see the city of Phoenix appearing if it's behind you. In the mirror you will see streets and street lights and homes and the sky and aeroplanes flying in the sky. All of that you'll see. But what's there in the mirror? Just glass. What's there in consciousness when you experience the world? You'll see the world, but the world cannot exist in consciousness. What exists in consciousness? Consciousness. There's a saying that it's in Hindi. It's packed tight with consciousness. There is not even a space for a needle to exist there. Tasathas bharpur jyo kateo. It's exactly as it is, packed tight. There is no space for a universe there. So what appears as universe in consciousness is exactly that. It's an appearance. Mirror example. Now notice these 4 features of the mirror. 4 features of the mirror. Mirror and the city. When you look at the mirror and the city, don't think about the city outside. A TV screen would have been a better example, but in those days Shankaracharya didn't have the benefit of a TV screen. In a mirror. Now forget, Shankaracharya says, Nijantargatam, within the mirror, internally. Not forget the city outside. Just look at the mirror and the city in the mirror. In that mirror. Forget the external city. Just look at the mirror. Now notice these 4 features. The mirror is the adhisthana, the ground of the city. The city appears to you with the support of the mirror. Similarly, this universe is experienced with the support of what? You, consciousness. Second feature. Wherever the city is in the mirror, there the mirror will be. If you see a building in that city, you touch it, you'll touch the mirror. If you see a canal in the city, you touch it, you'll touch the mirror. If you see a park or a road in the city, you touch it, you will touch the mirror. Wherever the city is, whatever is there in the city, wherever you go in the city in the mirror, you will find the mirror there. The mirror pervades the reflection. Obviously. Similarly, here, wherever, whatever you see in this universe, experience in this universe, consciousness will be there. It's a trivial statement because to experience something, consciousness must be there. Don't say here that, no. Consciousness is here. The universe is there. But here and there, both are appearing in consciousness. It will be clearer in the dream example. Now third feature. The mirror is real, the city in the mirror is an appearance. In the mirror there are no buildings. In the mirror there are no trees. In the mirror there are no cars or people. They just appear. They're reflections. In the mirror there is only the mirror. There's only glass. In consciousness there is no universe, although the universe appears. In consciousness there is no body or nobody. There is no mind. It is just consciousness. Although the mind and the body appear, although the senses appear, and the objects of the senses also appear, although time and space themselves appear, in consciousness there is only consciousness. Fourth, and this is fun, the city in the mirror and the mirror are non-dual. There are not two things there. There's not a mirror and a city. There's just the mirror. The reflection cannot be counted as a second reality apart from the mirror. And you can extend it further. The city keeps changing, the mirror doesn't change. The city is fractured into places, intermittent and all. City can improve, a city can degrade, can become better or worse. The mirror neither improves nor is degraded. All of the features of the mirror, what we discussed earlier this morning, they remain intact. Even when you invite the universe back into yourself. What did we do in the morning? We kicked out the universe. We kicked out even the body and the mind. And then we discovered our pristine nature as pure consciousness. Now we invite back the mind with all its problems. We invite back the body with all its problems. We invite back the world with all its cosmic problems. And we are still fine. Do you see how? No? Difficult, huh? If you did, work would be over right here. We could end the retreat here.
In the mirror example, there is a city which is getting reflected in the
I told you to ignore that. Yeah. What's the question?
Yeah, so in consciousness, what exists that is getting reflected as...
That's why I told you to ignore the city. Just as a TV screen, there's nothing outside which is getting reflected in TV screen. It's producing it from within. In consciousness, the world appears because of consciousness. It's the very nature of the consciousness to appear in various ways. Gaudapada says, Devasya esha swabhavoyam. This is the very nature of that shining being, to shine in all these ways. How does consciousness shine? As this. It's not that consciousness is here and the world is there. Rather, consciousness is and all of this appears. Consciousness itself appears as all of this. This is what Advaita Vedanta wants to say. So you are non-dual. You are all-pervasive, you are eternal, you are non-dual, you are limitless. This is the meaning of Desha Kala Vishayati Vartiyan, transcending time, space and object. Nitya Sarvavyapi Advaya. What is he talking about? Brahman, consciousness, you. It's challenging you to say, because it's sort of easy to say, yes, Brahman is eternal, but I am eternal. Yes, Brahman is all-pervasive. I am all-pervasive. Yes, Brahman is non-dual, Advaita. I am non-dual. That's the challenge. Can you confidently say it? If you say it, you're saved. Yeah. And thus, what do you do with all this? Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. This Brahman, I am, you are that, it says. Tattvamasi, you are that. What has been mentioned in these three. It's a whole philosophy course, not one class, packed into one verse. Let me give you quickly the dream example. Hold on to the question. Dream example, same 4 features. In the dream, we forget this, we are this body, we are going to a dream, the whole world appears. But notice, your mind, the dreamer's mind is the ground of the dream universe. In the dream, you are there in your own dream. You are projected into your own dream as a person, which you are experiencing a world, just like the waking state. But both the subject and the object in the dream are produced by the dreamer. So the dreamer's mind is the support. Similarly, consciousness is the support of this entire display of the world. Second, the Wherever you find anything in the dream, the dreamer's mind is there. The dreamer is there. It's the dreamer. Not only are you there in your own dream, that's you, that's what you are, but whatever you see in your dream is also you. Similarly, not only you are consciousness, but whatever appears to consciousness is also you, the consciousness. That's the beauty of it. Third, just like the mirror example, the dreamer is real, but what appears in the dream is false. I'm not saying the dream is false, the contents of the dream are false. Those things never happened. Those people never were there. Those events, those objects were never there. They all appeared in a dream. That's why we call it a dream. Similarly, here, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. And finally, the dream world and its contents are non-dual. The dreamer is non-dual with regard to the dream world and its contents. Similarly, you, the consciousness, you are non-dual with regard to everything that appears or disappears in consciousness. Advaitam. 4 features. Dream example, apply it. Dream mirror example, and apply it to what? Consciousness and the universe. Mirror and reflection, apply it to consciousness and universe. Dreamer and dream world, apply it to consciousness and the universe. And appreciate this. Then only now you have non-duality. This is true Advaita. What we did in the morning is only halfway house. It's Sankhya. It's consciousness and object. And that too, you can see why they say every body has a separate consciousness. They feel that way. But it's not true. Even the bodies are appearances in consciousness. Yes, there was a question. Did you remember the question?
Yeah. In cases when we run up against this thing of, okay, but there's a city outside in the mirror, those kinds of situations. The hammer of Drishyatvat, as is elucidated in Mandukya, that's basically the thing, right? If it appears, it's not true. Is that a valid way to squash the...
Yes. We'll go deeper into that. See, that's a very subtle and difficult point. The dream example is a good way of squashing it. It is separate, you know. The mirror example will not help because you always have this niggling feeling there's a city apart from the mirror. But in the dream, what happens? There is no city apart from the dreamer. The whole thing is dreamt up in your mind. The time in the dream, the space in the dream, and the objects you see in the dream, and the people you see in the dream, including your own body, all of it is dreamt up by the dreamer. Is it not? That's what we experience. Same way, the claim is everything, all of this is appearing in consciousness. It's dreamt up by consciousness. Nivedita once asked Vivekananda, can we think of Kali as the dream of Shiva? Vivekananda paused for a moment and then laughed and said, well, have it your way. Which means he approved of it. You can think of Maya as the dream of Brahman. You can think of Maya as the glory of Brahman. One Vedantic statement says, Bhati ched bhatu mayikasya bhushanam tat. After enlightenment, say, I'm enlightened, but the world is still appearing. If it is appearing, let it appear. It's the glory of Mayika. That means consciousness with Maya, Ishvara. It's the glory of Ishvara that the world is appearing. If the world didn't appear, think what it would mean. You'd say, what a useless consciousness, Brahman it is. There's nothing. It's just blank. It's so boring. When it's not boring, when it's giving you a thrill, then we complain, oh, why all this is there? I wish this was not there. I wish I was just Brahman. Well, Brahman gives you both. In waking and dreaming, you have a subject and an object and a world to experience. Both are appearances of yourself. And in deep sleep, the subject and object merge into a uniform blankness. You still exist as the witness of the absence of all things. Now, so the dream example is a good way of getting rid of that feeling that consciousness is separate and there's a world outside consciousness. Because clearly in the dream, we experience a world. When we wake up, we realize it was all in my mind. Now this is what is called thinking through examples, metaphors, metaphorical thinking. These are examples. Examples never prove anything. Dream or mirror, all very fine. But how do you know consciousness is like dream and a mirror? How is it like dream? How is it like mirror? These are examples. I asked this question once to a great sadhu. I've mentioned his name sometimes, Ramananda Saraswati. There is a teaching in Vedanta. Suppose you say, I don't want to go with examples. Can you give me clear reasoning? What is called first principle thinking. Start from first principles, ab initio, and think it through. Logically, can you show me this world is within me as consciousness? Consciousness and the world are not separate. It's not that there is an external world, and the light example breaks down here. There is a light separately and the world exists. The room exists even without the light. When I say the light illumines the room, well, the room was existing without the light. It's not that the room appears in the light. The room is illumined by the light, but it really does exist without the light. But now you are saying, no. Everything is just appearances in the light. It's like a movie screen. It's not like light in the room, not separate. So first principle thinking. Elon Musk, he said, if you want to do anything new, you have to think for yourself. Whatever your ideas about him and his politics, he is an achiever and a thinker. Recently he was interviewed by an Indian entrepreneur, Nikhil Kamath. So he asked him, why is it important for everybody to be on X or Twitter? And listen, you can see it through him. The sign of a deep thinker is he'll immediately stop. An honest thinker, he'll immediately stop. You can see it processing. If you notice that, if you see the interview, you'll see he completely stops at that point, Elon Musk. And there's a long pause where the CPU is going on at high speed. All those NVIDIA chips are whirling away. Why is it important? He's thinking it through. And he gives a very good answer. And there he comes very close to Vedanta. He says, it's just like a human brain. We have these tiny neurons, but we don't think there are millions of neurons. We don't have millions of voices in our head. We have one voice in our head. It's such a powerful voice because it brings together all that processing power. So imagine if you could bring together all the brains. The question was, what would you do with that? And he says, we are asking questions and we want answers to that. But probably we're still not asking the right questions. Look at his thinking. It's quite different from the rest of us. He says, I want to ask that question for which the universe is the answer. Instead of asking, what is this universe? He says, the universe is an answer to a question. What is that question to which this universe is the explanation? And to ask that question, we need this powerful, he says, all consciousness put together, all human minds put together. Anyway, so that's remarkably deep thinking, very philosophical thinking, very deep thinking. So what is the first principles thinking? There's a lot of it in Vedanta. One of them, the most prominent one, why is this world an appearance in consciousness? Why are you saying it's in consciousness? It's an appearance. It's not a separate, independent reality. This is the meaning of the falsity of the world. When you say Jagat Mithya, falsity of the world, what are you trying to achieve? You're trying to achieve non-duality of Brahman. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Only if the world is not an independent, separate reality, then you can say Brahman is non-dual. There is no second reality apart from Brahman. Here in place of Brahman, take consciousness. When he says, Desha Kala Vishayati Vattiyat, transcending object limitation. How do you transcend object limitation? Only if these objects, you can't deny you're experiencing these objects. Now you have an option. Either those objects are real and separate from you, in which you have to count. There is consciousness, one, and then there is the body and the mind and the senses and billions of objects outside. Clearly not non-dual in that case. Or you have an option. There is consciousness and everything, all of these billions are appearing in consciousness. Therefore, they do not constitute a second reality apart from consciousness. You can't count them. You can't say consciousness plus body, mind. No. In that case, consciousness alone. Then the non-duality of consciousness is established. So that's the strategy behind saying Brahman is real, the world is false. It simply implies Brahman is non-dual. There's no second reality apart from Brahman. Why can't you say it straight away? Because the world is appearing to you. Whatever you are, whatever kind of philosopher you are, you cannot deny the experience of the world. But what the Advaitin can do and does is denies the reality of the world. That's why you bring in the mirror example, the dream example. If the world is a real entity apart from consciousness, then there's no hope for non-duality. But if the world is an appearance in consciousness, then non-duality, then consciousness becomes non-dual. So how do you prove that the world is false? Vedanta says, how do you prove that the world is real? Well, we say it's real because I see it. Here is something, I see it, therefore it's real. What do I mean by real? It exists separately by itself apart from me, and I see it. This is materialism, this is realism. Metaphysically materialism, epistemologically realism. There is an entity apart from me, and I see it. Even if I don't see it, it still exists. Does it still exist? Can you see it? No? I would have been very surprised. Yes, you see it. It still exists. So the object exists apart from consciousness. That's why I say it's real. And Vedanta has the guts, the cheekiness, the chutzpah of saying, because you see it, it's false. Jagat mithya drishyatvat rajju sarpavat. The world is false. Why? Because it is seen. What do you mean? It's just like a snake and a rope. You see the snake, but it's not real. It's a rope mistaken for a snake. So I asked this great monk, Raman Saraswati, I don't get it. At that time I didn't get it. How is this? This sounds like a very silly argument. Because I can just argue the opposite. The world is true because I see it. Like this book. I see the book and it's real. It's not like a snake and a rope. It's real. And I see it. And so the world is real. I see it. Like a book which I see. Ghatavat, Jagat Satyam, Drishyatvat, Ghatavat. I gave the counter example. The world is real because it is seen, like a pot. He just smiled and he said, Aise nahi hoga, it will not work like this. And then he gave me a clue which I worked out later myself. What it means is this. How is it that consciousness encounters a world? This is first principle thinking. It's difficult, but Elon Musk would approve. How is it that the world encounters an object? How is it that consciousness encounters an object? This is an object. I am consciousness. I am experiencing this object. But how? Two entirely different things. Consciousness and not consciousness. Awareness and object. How do they contact each other? The light example is no good. Because light is a material light. This is a material object. Light can illumine this. Why not? Two material objects can interact. That material light can interact with this material object and can reflect off that, and then I can see it with my material eyes. Why not? But consciousness, you are saying, is utterly different. See, even this light, can it illumine a thought in your mind? It can't. If I shine a light on you, I can see your body. Can I see your thoughts? No. Why not? Well, because a thought is not a kind of thing that can reflect light. They are utterly different things. Why only thoughts? Make it even more basic. Can light illumine a sound? No. Can light reveal the taste of whatever is waiting for us in the dining hall? No. It can only show it to you. It can't reveal the flavor. It can't reveal the sound. It can't reveal the smell. So two utterly different things cannot interact. How will consciousness reveal this object? How is it? It's clearly revealing it. How? Sankaracarya says in his Adhyasa Bhashya, Yushmad asmat pratyaya gocharayo vishaya vishayino tamah prakashavad viruddha svabhavayo. Like light and darkness. Consciousness is like light and the object is like darkness. Light and darkness can never interact. If you bring in light, darkness will flee. Here is light. No darkness here. There is darkness outside. No light there. The old story of the village, the headman who told his servant, it's getting dark. Here is the lantern. Go and place it where it... What should I do with it, sir? Place it where it's dark. So he goes around and then he comes back with the lantern. What happened, you fool? It says, I couldn't find any place which is dark. Wherever I went, it was not dark. Because wherever you take light, it's not dark. Darkness and light can never come into contact. Consciousness and object can never come into contact if the object is something different from consciousness. This is the problem that all dualities face. Descartes faced it with mind-body duality. Mind is separate from body. Fine. How does the mind interact with the body? Mind, I want to raise my hand. And I am raising my hand. But how? Science can tell me how the muscles are functioning, can tell me how the neurons are firing in the brain. But that's it. From there to the mind, where is the link? No link. Mind-body dualism, impossible to explain. Similarly, even deeper problem is consciousness and object dualism. That's why Sankhya fails. Prakriti and Purusha, ultimately two realities, material nature and you are consciousness, spirit and nature. But how do they interact? Because they are clearly interacting in you. We are spirit encased in material bodies, which we can control. How is it possible? It's possible if it is ultimately they are all one reality, underlying it is one connecting reality, then it's possible in principle. So Shankaracharya says they are opposite like light and darkness. They cannot interact, and yet they seem to interact in all our lives. Matter and consciousness seem to interact. Just in the act of seeing a book, it is consciousness interacting with matter. Then what's going on here? In that case, Shankaracharya says we are forced to the conclusion these two, however different they appear, they are not different. There must be an underlying unity. What is that underlying unity? Is it material? If you say it's material, the materialist will jump in and say, aha, that's what I said, it's all brain. Or is it consciousness? Shankaracharya, Vedanta says it's all consciousness. It's consciousness, the whole universe is an appearance in consciousness. Just like a dream. Matter, energy, time, space, all of them are appearances in the mind of the dreamer. Similarly here, all of what we see is a display in consciousness. Therefore, matter and consciousness and object are able to interact because the objects are actually nothing other than consciousness. At their root, in their ground, they are consciousness appearing to itself as an object. And if you think about it, that's logical, because what does consciousness do actually? What happens in consciousness? Things appear in consciousness. That's all that consciousness does. Consciousness experiences. What does it experience? Stuff which appears in consciousness. And Shankaracharya simply is saying that stuff is the universe. The universe is an overlay, is a superimposition, is a film playing on the screen of consciousness, is a city reflected in the mirror of consciousness, is the dream of the dreamer called consciousness. That's the idea of the universe. Therefore, the universe is not separate from you, the consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is non-dual, Advaita. That's where it gets the name. Non-duality, Advaita. This is first principle thinking, without using examples. Therefore, the world is false. Why? Because you see it. If you see it, it's not a separate existing reality. It's an appearance in consciousness. Otherwise, you would not be able to see it. Consciousness only sees stuff in consciousness. You see the chain of reasoning? It's subtle, it's difficult. But this is the heart of Advaita Vedanta. This is called Adhyasa Bhashya, Shankaracharya's masterpiece. Where will you find it? In the Brahma Sutras, there's another text. And in the introduction to the Brahma Sutras, Shankaracharya wrote a 3-page essay. One of the most fascinating pieces of philosophical literature in the world. I've mentioned this earlier. Professor J.N. Mahanti was a great philosopher who passed away 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years ago. He said to me once, long ago, he said, in all my studies of philosophical texts, East and West, I've never come across a more profound sentence than the opening sentence of the Adhyasa Bhashya. What is that opening sentence? Is what I told you just now. All of this, what we discussed. It reduces the universe to an appearance in consciousness. What is it? It actually explains the universe. It explains how, as consciousness, we find ourselves in this situation. What we are, what is this universe? And it's the grandest view of human nature, that you are this non-dual consciousness. The whole universe, in that sense, the universe is one with you. Yes.
Just to put it, I'm trying to go back to something you're saying.
Yes.
Vedanta is trying to get you to turn the movie off.
No, it is not. Vedanta is, in fact, yoga is trying to get you to turn the movie off. Yes, it's a good point. Is Vedanta trying to get you to turn the movie off? No. Vedanta is trying to get you to see that it's a movie. Let it play. Let the music play. It's fun. As long as it's a movie, it's fun. If it's not a movie, it's not fun. It's horror. You're trapped in it then. But no, if it's a movie, then nothing in the movie, and what are you in the movie? You're not a character in the movie. You are the screen on which the movie is playing. So, nothing in the movie is different from you. Not the good, not the bad. They're all you. Let it play. Yoga says turn off the movie. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga says go into samadhi. Shut down the movie. How do you shut down the movie? Yoga shows you the key, the off switch, the master switch. The master switch is the mind. If you flip that switch, then the movie stops. As it happens in deep sleep, it also happens, you can do it consciously. In deep sleep, we fall into a stupor. We don't become enlightened by sleeping. But in samadhi, when you shut down the movie deliberately, and you see, so I am apart from the movie. I am the witness of the movie. Then when you start the movie again, fine. But I am not the movie. But here in Vedanta, let the movie play. See, there are two ways of seeing the screen on the movie, on which the movie is playing. One is, when the child wanted to see what's the screen, there are two ways. One way is shut the movie. Switch off the movie. Then switch on the lights in the hall. If you don't switch on the lights in the hall, it's darkness. It's like deep sleep. You don't see the movie, you don't see the screen either. But if you switch on the lights in the hall, you will see the blank screen. Then you realize, I see, that's the screen. When the movie is playing, it's covered with pictures. And when you shut it off, you see the screen. So that's one obvious way of seeing the screen. But you have to switch off the movie to see the screen by itself. But there's another way of seeing the screen. That's what Vedanta wants to tell you. When you are watching the movie, are you not seeing the screen? Think about it. Are you not seeing the screen when the movie is on? Whatever you are seeing in the movie is the screen. Are you not seeing water when you see the waves in the ocean? Do all the waves have to become calm and settled, then only the water is seen? No. Even when there are mighty waves, a tsunami wave, a storm, it's the same water. In fact, you can't see the wave without seeing the water. When you see a pot, can you see the pot without seeing the clay? You cannot. I'm quoting from Aparoksha Anubhuti. Sankaracarya says, Brahmana kriyate sarva vyavahara ajnanat na pashyanti. Janaha, all beings, whatever activities goes on in the world, religious, secular, politics, art, spirituality, just life itself, all of this is being done in and through Brahman. But people don't see it. It's the same thing which that monk told me more than 30 years ago. Brahman, you want to see Brahman? Here it is. I said, this tree? And he said, not quite. I was in the position of that little child who says, where is the screen? And the father points to the screen. The child says, but that's Luke Skywalker. And that's a spaceship. That's a planet or a star. Now, all of that, or none of that. If you know the screen. So, Vedanta says, let it play on. In Hindi, one sadhu put it so beautifully. वेदांत प्रतीति को मिटाने के लिए नहीं है. वेदांत आपको व्यवहार में निर्बाध बनाता है. What a beautiful saying. Vedanta is not for wiping out the experience of the universe. Vedanta makes you fearless, limitless in the experience of the universe. Makes you full of joy in the experience of the universe. Madhuvatharitayate madhuksharanti sindhava madhvi no santu oshadhihi madhumat parthivagum rajaha madhu dyaurastu nafpita madhumanastu suryaha madhvir gavo bhavantu nah. Madhu means honey. Let the winds full of honey blow. Let the sky be full of honey. The sky literally says, The sky, who is our father. Literally, it's a Sanskrit equivalent of the heavenly father. It's full of honey. The sun is full of honey. When you sit out there and soak in the sunlight, it's full of honey. It's honey, it's sweetness. The winds are full of sweetness. The sky is full of sweetness. The sun is full of sweetness. Let the cows shower sweetness on us. We get the honey of the cows in the form of the milk they give us. The madhumat parthivagum rajaha. The very dust of the earth is honey. The sun and the moon are honey. The wind is honey. The oceans are honey. It's all sweetness. It's sweetness, sweetness, sweetness. What is this sweetness? It's Brahman. What is the honey in the sky, in the sun, in the wind, in the oceans, in the cows, in the people, vanispati, the shrubs and the trees you see all around? It's honey. For us, nothing is honey. We are like the kid who said, "Give me candy." It's Hershey. No, I want candy. You get a Kit Kat, and I want candy. But it's all candy. We'll think, no, why is the wind, how is the wind Brahman? How is the sky Brahman? It's sky is sky, sun is sun, wind is wind, water is water. But we want to, but give me Brahman. We are giving you Brahman. It's all honey, it's all candy. Yes.
Profound, thank you for explaining it. Thought that comes to mind is, what else is there to life then but non-dual meditation?
Yes. Stay with this meditation, eyes closed, sit silently and absorb it. But then the third phase of meditation, which we did in the morning, erase the margin border between meditation and life. Look around you, open. This is a living meditation. This is non-dual meditation, beautifully put. This is non-dual meditation. What is non-dual meditation? Life itself. Life itself is Brahman meditating on its own glories. You will be immersed in an ocean of honey. Now you realize why the truly enlightened ones, why they are so endlessly happy. They're soaked in happiness. Whatever happens. I heard of a great saint, the philosopher I mentioned, Arindam Chakravarti. He told me his guru was he was not a Vedantin, not a non-dualist. He was a Vaishnava saint and a devotee of Krishna. Towards the end of his life, as he was dying, bed sores, patients have bed sores, it's painful, it's miserable. And the doctors would try to wipe it off with alcohol, to disinfect it. And it'll burn and sting like anything. And this old monk, the philosopher told me, he would stand and giggle. He said, Swami, the doctor scolded him, Swami, stop doing that. We don't know where it's hurting. You must tell us where it's hurting. When it hurts, he finds it fun. It's not masochistic, he's not enjoying pain. He sees the honey in everything, in pleasure and in pain. Sri Ramakrishna, Hari Maharaj tells him that, how are you today, sir? He's dying of cancer. And he says, it hurts. I can't eat. See, it's all true, what a cancer patient would say. And doctor told me it's one of the worst forms of cancer, throat cancer. Your saliva leaks out continuously because you can't swallow anymore. And you be literally starved to death because you can't eat anymore. And it's painful. But Hari Maharaj, this young man, what did he see in Sri Ramakrishna? He says, but I see you are in great bliss. Apni to maha ananda achan. You're in great bliss. He sees the honey there. And Sri Ramakrishna confirms it. He says, the rascal has found me out. O shala dhare niyeche. He confirms it. Yes, I am in great joy. Is it true that there is cancer? Yes. Is he acting? No. He feels every bit of it. And yet he is able to transcend it. Centered in which the heaviest of sorrows cannot shake you. Attaining which nothing greater remains to be attained. That's why they sing and dance. You see this, you feel like dancing. There are stories which people don't know outside. Some of you have heard of Josephine MacLeod. This lady who, she even refused to call herself a disciple of Vivekananda. She used to say, I am your friend. And Vivekananda acknowledged that she is the one who came complete. And she asked him, what can I do for you, Swami? And Vivekananda said, love India. And all her life, till the end, this grand old lady, till the end of her life, she worked and worked and worked to help the order, to help India in many, many, many ways. Here's a little example. She would visit Belur Math as often as she could. In those days, you have to go by ship. I remember in our monastery, in our training where the youngsters are trained, young monks, we had a big, very strange, big old table. And I asked once, what is this table? We used it for keeping journals and magazines in a reading room in the library. They said, it is the cross-section of a redwood tree from California. It's Josephine MacLeod's table. She had it shipped from California to India. Yeah. And in 2 parts, they assembled it back in India. It's still there. And the monks, they don't know its history. It's traveled all the halfway across the world in those days on a ship. One day, one monk told this story, Swami Lokeshwaram told this story. He saw this grand old lady sitting in the hot, hot Indian sun, watching the laborers who were, toiling in that blazing heat to build a part of the monastery. Just sitting there, very uncomfortable. And this monk said, what are you doing here? Why don't you come inside? She said pensively, with a far-off look in her eyes. And this is long after Swami Vivekananda had passed away. He said, what are you doing here? She said, I'm loving India. The toil and the hard work and the poverty and all of that, she's one with them in their journey. Now, why I'm saying all this? Yet in the midst of that, there was this hidden great joy. It's something that's transmitted among the monks, we have heard of it. One of the monks who was giving something to her in the guest house, he suddenly entered, without the Western etiquette of knocking, he entered. And he saw this lady. In those days, they would wear these big gowns. She had picked up the gowns on both sides. And in the middle of the room, this old lady, she was dancing in joy. She danced and danced. And when she saw him, she stopped and she said, oh, you naughty boy, you found me out. Yeah. Okay. Time for Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu